I'm going to teach you guys exactly step by step how I went from a nurse to actually learning how to multiply my money in the market. Very precisely, not guessing, not gambling, but a sure and repeatable system. This is just one of the things I do every single week to make sure I put cash in my pocket. Let's get into it. It's a training I did with over 90 minutes of raw facts, examples, and data to use your money to go to the moon. My name is Josh. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Van. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Kenny. Hey, Renee. My girl Evelyn. I always love seeing her. Thelma, Josiah, Mary. If we can we actually put our cameras on so I can see everybody who's speaking and so I can make sure you're not AI. This is an amazing day to learn how to make money and multiply money. But just by a show of hands, guys, let me get some messages in the chat. If you have actually heard of me before, you've seen me before, type of one in the chat. If you have no clue who I am, type a two in the chat. So a lot of you guys, well, it seems like a mixed bag, but most of you guys know who I am. That's good. You're seeing me live and in the flesh. And today I wanted to take my Friday night to do something very important. I don't like giving up Fridays for nobody, but when Marvin calls, I do like to ask it because that's a good friend of mine. But more importantly, I'm here to empower you guys. So all 23 of you guys that actually showed up today, you should congratulate yourself. And the reason why I say you should congratulate yourself is that momentum is always followed by money. First comes the momentum, then comes the money. So you being here is the beginning of your momentum. And with the information I give you, the hope and the goal is to push you now to have more momentum as we go. Now, before we get started, a little bit about me. I used to be a nurse, ER nurse, and I used to work 12-hour shifts. I was able to retire in 2019 and be able to teach people about the market, make money through the markets, the whole nine. But there's one thing that I learned through that experience that changed what I knew about money. If you like to what that secret is, type a one in the chat. Okay, Renee, okay, Kenny, but to say yes. Here's a secret that I learned. You do not get paid based on the value you provide. You get paid based on the level of value you work from. I'll give you a perfect example. When I was in the ER, there was a young man who I was his nurse, and he was a pretty skinny guy, and he collapsed right before being discharged. So my training kicked in. I hopped on him. I did my training. I gave him CPR, the whole 9 yards. And I was performing CPR on him for 25 minutes. And for those who don't know, imagine doing a push-up. Giving CPR is like doing a push-up. So imagine doing a push-up for 25 minutes, the amount of energy, the sweating, all the energy you put through that. And his life got saved. And I'm grateful for that. He came to me a week later and said, Josh, you saved my life. His family was grateful. I said what they told us to say, which is, it's my job. I'm happy to help, which is obviously as well true. Then that day, my direct deposit hit for my job, and it was $1,248. And then I thought to myself, I was like, there's really nothing more valuable than saving a life that I know about, really. But I got paid as if I was working at McDonald's. Then it hit me. I need to work from a different level of value. I need to get some leverage. So today I'm going to teach you one of the three tools I learned to change the game for me. Like, if you only got this one tool, the game will change for you, like, for good. If you're willing to put in the work will work for you. Now, if I'm going to show you this, you guys have to promise me that you're going to execute. If you're going to promise me that, I say, Josh, I promise I'm going to execute, type of execute in the chat. If you're going to execute, type of execute in the chat, okay, Kenny, Van, Nolan, particular author. So here I'm in the right place with the right people. So let me go and share with you guys something that I've learned along the way, which is how to multiply your money with options, how to make money on autopilot. Ladies and gentlemen, when you start working from a different level of value, what you start to realize is that the tools you use to make money have to become different. Not they might become different, they will completely become different. Why? Because you start working with your body and you start working with your mind. When you work with your body, your tools are your hands, your feet, and maybe your mouth to a certain degree. But when you work with your mind, your tools are your mind and the ideas that you carry. The beautiful thing about what I'm going to show you is that I'm going to give you a way to turn ideas into money. You have an idea, you can turn it into money. I was having a conversation with my friend today. He had an idea during a group coach call we had on Tuesday about a company called Nike. And he was so passionate about it. And as soon as I checked it, I was like, oh, that was a great idea. Why? Because if we had executed on that idea, we would have made money. So when you start working with different tools, it takes away the time difference between the idea, the thoughts, and the money you make. So that's what we're going to cover today, guys. How to multiply your money with options. Now, here's power money principles. Number one, leverage. Write this down, guys, if you're taking notes. Number one, leverage. Number two, the rule of 72. Number three, interest rates. And number four, ROI. These are the tools that we're going to work with to make money with our mind. Leverage, the rule of 72, interest rates, and ROI. Because let me tell you guys something. You might have heard in the past that time is money, but that is statistically untrue. That quote that time is money is statistically untrue. It's so untrue that it's actually the opposite. Meaning that the more time you use to make money, eventually the less money you have because money becomes worth less over time. The more money you use to make money, the more time you have because you can make more money per unit of time than time per unit of money. Did I say that too fast? I want y'all to really get what I said. And I'm going to give you guys the perfect example. Yes, this is going to be the quad four strategy, but I'm approaching it from a beginner standpoint for those who don't even know what quad four is. So what do I mean by that? Meaning if you work for $20 an hour, you can only exchange 1 hour for that $20, but you can count many $20 bills. You can close many $20 deals. You can do many $20 trade in the same hour, which means time and money do not have to equal each other. And the way to change that is leverage. Leverage is using the structure instead of strength to multiply your money. Another way to say that is leverage is using an engine versus your energy to make cash flow. And this is where options comes in. What are options? Options are the ability to hold 10 times worth of an equity stocks for 10% of the down payment. Options are the real estate of the stock market. So when you go buy real estate, you have to put down a down payment. What's the usual down payment you have to put down? Let me know in the chat. For those who bought real estate before and know about real estate, when you go buy a house, what's the usual down payment you have to put down? Nobody bought a house in here? That's crazy. Kenny's have 5%, 20%, 20%, 20%. Yes, somewhere between 3.5%, exactly, Dwayne, and 20%. It's your choice. But you can actually get into a house by putting 3.5% down and control literally 30 times the value for that down payment. Options is that same engine in the stock market. So in order to control $100,000 worth of stock, let's say worth of Apple stock, worth of Amazon stock, worth of Nvidia stock, instead of putting out $100,000, we can control with $500. So this allows us to multiply our money faster. This is the reason why. While it takes real estate on average 10 years to double, with the quad four strategy, on average, it takes 45 to 90 days to double. I'm going to repeat that again. Statistically, it takes real estate about 20 years to double. With the quad four strategy, it takes on average 45 to 90 days to double. So you can get the same multiplication in 1/20th the time. And the beauty of it is when you get into an options contract, if that stock goes up 10%, your options contract will go up 100%. It will literally 10x. So here's the rules of the game. Write it down. If you think the stock or the market is going to go up, you buy calls. If you think it's going to go down, you buy puts. If you think it's going to go up, you buy calls. If you think it's going to go down, you buy puts. Cheat code. The market goes up 75% of the time. So since the market goes up 75% of the time, what are you buying? Calls or puts? Let me know in the chat. It's quiz time.
Calls.
Yes, absolutely. You are buying calls. And a cheap bonus code here is spreads. Spreads you buy when the market is going sideways. So what that means is that regardless of what the market does, we can make money. If the market goes up, we buy calls. The market goes down, we buy puts. The market goes sideways, we buy spreads. There are 4 ways to buy. Number 1, day trading. Number 2, swinging. Number 3, skips. And number 4, leaps. All these 4 instruments are ways to buy options to multiply your money. The shorter the time frame, the faster your money multiplies. So if you're buying options for a day, you can make 50% on your money, 300% on your money in literally a couple hours. If you're swinging it for, let's say, 2 weeks to a month, you can make 100% on your money in 5 days. If you're doing skips, which is contract 6 months out, you can multiply your money in literally 30 days. If you're doing leaps, in about 45 to 90 days, you can double your money. Depending on which way you go, you can always double your money. The expiration determines your profit. Write that down. So I'm teaching you guys the rules of the game right now, and I'm going to break it down at the end. The expiration determines your profit. So what does that mean? If you choose a day trade, for example, or a swing trade that's only 2 weeks out, that means you expect to make money 2 times, 3 times, 4 times faster than you do when you buy a leap. You get to control how fast your money multiplies. The beauty and the power of this is like somebody walking up to you and saying, hey, there's going to be a lottery tomorrow and you're going to be able to double your money. I have the winning lottery ticket. You get to choose when you get it. Do you want it today? Do you want it next week? Do you want it a month from now? Do you want it a year from now? Most people will say a year. And you might think that's counterintuitive. Why would you want to wait a year to double your money? Or 30 days or 60 days or 90 days? Why not just the next day? Because when you have an opportunity that has a high probability of doubling your money, you want to get as much cash as possible to put into that opportunity in the lifetime the opportunity exists. This is the difference between the Warren Buffetts and the everyday investor. There's a difference between those who make $150,000 in a month versus those who only make 500. They have a long-term thinking. And what I will do with that 30 days, that 60 days, that 90 days is get as much cash as possible to put it into these contracts. Why? Because I know on average, I'm going to make at least 50 to 100% on my money. So now that you understand the rules of the game, I'm going to teach you how we do it. The longer expiration, slower, safer growth, shorter expiration, faster, explosive growth. Where did this idea of options come from? Very good question. The very first options trader, his name was Thales. He was from the city of Miletus, and he was known as one of the 7 Greek sages of ancient Greece. He was one of the people who said, hey, not everything is based on mystical powers. There are things that you can actually determine by observation. For example, if the sun is out, it's going to be hot outside. People in ancient Greece thought it was just hot based on whether a Greek god decided it or not. But there was one of the people that said, hey, if the sun is out, it's going to be hot. If you see it snowing, it's going to be cold. Things that seem common sense to us now were not so common back then. So he came up with something called the very first options trade. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. So Dell was making all these theories and telling people about observation. And they said, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? Use what you know to make yourself rich. So with all of his smartness, with all of his genius, mind you, I said this is one of the smartest Roman philosophers, Greek philosophers in history. With all of his wisdom, he only could come up with one way to make money. And that was options. This is what he did. He had a prediction. He saw that the sun was out in a particular place in the solar system. And he noticed that when that happens, that there's going to be an abundance in olive oil harvest that year because they produce olives in his town of Miletus. So what he did was take some money and went around town and put a down payment to control all of the farming equipment in the whole state. Imagine if they said that in your state, there's going to be an abundance of, I don't know, corn, right? And all the tools to gather the corn, one man controlled it all. And the way he controlled it was putting down a down payment in order to control those tools. If what he predicted didn't happen, no harm, no foul. All that he had online was his down payment. But if it did happen, he now owned a monopoly on the whole state. And that's exactly what happened. He owned the monopoly on all the farm equipment, and then he started renting it out to the farmers who doubted him. He became a multimillionaire in less than 2 weeks. This is what I mean in the beginning when I said options allows you to take something from an idea to profit in a very short amount of time. His idea was the fact that, hey, there's going to be an abundant grain harvest. So he used options to control all of the farming equipment in his state. In the same way, we can use options to control things based on ideas that we have. Yes, you can generate your own ideas, but my job here today is to give you an idea that I know already works. That is the quad witching strategy, AKA the quad 4 strategy. So what is this idea and how do we make money from it? Great question. Well, quad witching happens 4 times a year, every year, and the dates change. These are the dates for 2025. The dates for 2026 are different. And for those who have your eyes open, you will notice the dates for 2025 just happened last week, Friday. So right now you are in a prime opportunity to take advantage of this. Quad witching is when stock options, future options, bond options, and stock futures all expire worthless at the same time. What this does, it makes contracts cheaper than they usually are. And it's usually accompanied by a dip in the market or a dip in very strong stocks. This is a very strong buying opportunity for us to get in, buy these shares, and multiply our money rather quickly. What we do during these dates is we buy skips, which are 6-month long out contracts, and leaps, which are 1 year out contracts. These are the dates for 2025, March 21st, June 20th, September 19th, and December 19th. I'm going to look at those dates again. The dates for 2025 are March 21st, June 20th, September 19th, and December 19th. Would you guys like to know the dates for 2026? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Okay, I'll tell you guys. God, so impressive. I'll let you guys know. Okay, here are the dates for 2026 right now. The dates for 2026 are March 20th, 2026, June 19th, 2026, September 18th, 2026, and December 18th, 2026. What's that again? March 20th, 2026, June 19th, 2026, September 18th, 2026, and December 18th, 2026. That is our window of opportunity. What do we do during those times? 3 to 10 business days after those dates, you go and buy your skips and your leaps. 3 to 10 business days. So right now we are in the buying window for the December 19th quad witching. Matter of fact, I bought some today and I'll be adding more all through next week. One of the ones I bought was Meta. Skips and leaps is what you want to get in these. I bought a leap on Meta that expires. Just log into the brokerage right here. I bought a leap in Meta that expires December 18th, 2026. Yep. I have a leap in Meta right now. I bought it today that expires December 18th, 2026. So what I do during these quad witching periods is I find stocks that are profitable, that make money, that are great companies, that are on discount, and I buy leaps and skips on them to multiply my money. Here's some shot fire rules to follow. Number one, the company should be in the top 50 of the S&P 500. Number two, the company should be 10 to 30% discount from its all-time highs. Number three, the stock has to be oversold. When these three things line up, this is what I do to multiply my money, and it highlights that stock to me as a potential for my quad witching plays. So what you want to do is follow the money. How do you actually pick contracts? You follow the money. Somebody type in the chat, follow the money. Okay. Because I'm gonna log into my chart right now. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do this.
Yeah, while you logging in, Josh, did you mind saying those three again?
The three what?
I was only to get oversold for the last one. Those the three rules to follow.
Oh yes. Top 50 usually in the S&P 500. It has to be 10 to 30% from its all-time highs or its recent highs. And it also has to be oversold on the relative strength index. I'll give you an example of one that I'm actually watching right now. Okay. I'm going to share it with you.
Did I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
How recent?
How recent what?
You said you want to make sure it's 30% from its recent high. So how recent? The last month, last 6 months, last
Or it's all-time highs. I'll show you an example. Let's look at the chart.
okay, thank you.
Okay. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm watching as well for next week is a company called Oracle. Are you guys seeing this? Oracle is an S&P 500. The recent high is what? Comment in the chat if you guys can see it. Yes, 345. It's now at 197. What percentage is that? What percentage discount is that? I'm going to tell you right now. I have a little fancy app that lets me do it. Okay. Right now, it's almost at a 43% discount from all-time highs right now. And its recent high is 227. Okay. So 227, and it's 13% down from its recent high. So this is definitely discounted enough for my liking. Criteria number two, it's in the S&P 500. I already know that. You guys can check that. Oracle is, okay. Criteria number three, is it oversold or overbought? One way to check that is something called the RSI. It's an indicator. And by the way, for those who don't know, this is a platform called Thinkorswim. Okay. If you just type in R relative strength index, it should pop up. Okay. And on the relative strength index, is that the one I'm looking for? It's just RSI. This is the one I'm looking for. Okay. If you just say RSI, here's one of the tools I use. Okay. And if you guys notice on the RSI, 30 means is oversold. 70 is overbought. Right now, it's just about right in the middle. This lets me that this is a decent Not necessarily the best, but a decent stock to get into for quad witching. So now that I understand that, let's say this is the stock I want to buy, how do I pick my contracts? How do I follow the money? Would you guys let me to show you? Yes or no? Should I show you how to follow the money? Okay, let's do this together. Let's follow the money together. Remember, a skip is something 6 months out. A leap is something 1 year out. So let's say I'll do a skip on this 6 months out. That will land me in June. This is my options chain. The options chain is where I go shopping for contracts. So let's say I go to June. There's something called volume and open interest. All you have to do is compare the chain. What you will notice is there's going to be numbers that stand out that are bigger than the rest. For example, when I compare these chains, what number out of these top numbers here stand out to you? Let me see if you guys can pick it, can spot it. Out of all these numbers here, which number exactly? The 9,765. This is the right contract to pick. You just got a master's level options education in 5 minutes just by following the money. The reason we follow the money is because the money is not you and me. The people buying these level of contracts are big banks like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan and Chase, Bank of America. And they're putting money on the line because they have hundreds of analysts working for them, doing research, figuring out the best option to pick. Of course, I can teach you about the delta, the theta, the Greek, the gamma, the rho, the vega. But instead of that, you can just follow the money. This is the contract to pick. So $1,200 for this contract. But let's say this one might be too high for my blood. I don't want to pay $1,200 for this. I want to pay something a little bit cheaper. So I will go down the line and I'll pick the cheapest one with the biggest number. The second one that stands out to me is this one and this one. 6,846 people in this one. Okay, not bad. It's only $370. Now, pay attention, guys. Lock in. This one, you guys look at me. Lock in, pay attention. This is the beauty of options. If in the next 6 months, this stock gets to $330, you will turn $370 into $3,000. You will turn $370 into $3,000. Does this happen? Yes, it does. How do I know that? Because I have options that I literally have 5x and I took profit on because they're now in the money. Okay. This says the 275 call on Apple. I bought this in September of this year. The only reason you see one here, I had about 10. You go to the Apple chart. Apple went all the way to 288. I was in the money on this contract. My contracts went up 10x. After I doubled my money, I sold half. I left runners, and then my runners kept going, especially my skips. After a while, I just took profit, okay? Because I understand how money works. What you want to do, and we can go back to Oracle here. Go back to Oracle. Where is it? Okay. What you want to do is locate the contracts with the biggest money. And just so you have an idea how much money is in this contract, 9,765 times dollars, that's about $11 million in that contract. Ain't nobody worried about your 5, 10, 100, $2,000 when there's big money in the contracts like that. This is how we ride the wave and make money with the sharks. This is why the quad 4 strategy is so effective. You pair perfect positioning with perfect contracts. When these two marriages come together, they give you an opportunity to multiply your money and literally make money on autopilot. This is the beauty of options. I've seen personally $300 turn to $30,000 in 6 weeks. Why? I bought skits on Amazon, and within 6 weeks, they had 100x because I followed the rules of the system. So write this down. Number one way we make money with options is by following the big boys. Number one, we follow the big boys. Number two, we locate opportunities and ideas that have proven themselves based on history. I say this all the time for those who've heard me speak before. What are the busiest companies during the last 4 months of the year?
Amazon,
Yes, Amazon, you got it. Okay. What else?
Apple,
Yes, FedEx, Kenny. Yep, you got it right, Kenny. Okay.
Apple.
Apple is not, yes, because they always announce a new iPhone always in September. So they usually pop in September. That's a good one. So now you guys are coming with ideas. Like, this is how money can be made, guys. You don't have to clock in. Like, you can think like, what happens around January? What happens around February? And how can I use options to profit on it, like Dales did in the year Big 65? Okay. What happens? Somebody said Amazon. I'm going to show you guys something very interesting. During the fourth quarter of the year, around October, Amazon usually pops up. So let's this together. This year around October, what happened? Amazon popped up from 211 to 258. Amazon broke all-time highs. Great. Let's go to last year, October. We keep going to the right here. We go 3 years, 1 week here. Okay. Let's go to last year, October. Last year, October, what happened? Amazon did what? It popped up again, didn't it? And the other October before that, what did Amazon? It popped up again. And if you notice, there's usually a dip right before each of the pop-ups. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an accident. It is called a clue. Why is it a clue? What else happens on September of every year? Based on what I taught you guys today, what happens on September of every year?
Kids go back to school.
Yes, but what stock phenomena happens in September of every year that also happens 4 times a year?
The quad for
The quad witching. Exactly. So during my September quad witching, I always buy Amazon, and I always make money on Amazon because history has shown me the idea that Amazon always makes money during the last 4 quarters of the year tends to happen. So why don't I make money on something that's going to happen anyways? This is what is called anyways money. If it's going to happen anyways, I might as well make money from it. If FedEx is going to be crazy and rage every last quarter of the year, I might as well make money on it. If sports betting is going to increase in price, things like Penn, okay, are going to increase in price. The stock is going to go up during the fourth quarter of the year because that's when football is getting close to the playoff, and basketball is also getting close to the playoff, and sports betting increases. Why don't I profit from that? So your job now as somebody who makes money with your mind is to generate ideas that turn into income. Remember in the beginning, I told you, if you had a winning lottery ticket that you knew was going to make money, how much money would you put into it? If all you learned from me during this class was that next September, go buy a skip on Amazon, I have done my job. And all you did was put all your money together all the way till next September because you know what happens with Amazon around September. I've done my job because I've just given you an idea that leads to income. Because leverage tells you that what you lack in ability, you can always make up for in leverage. What you lack in ability, you can always make up for in leverage. So ideas lead to cash flow. And here's the beautiful part. The fact that we're all different people, Wendy's here, Van is here, Kenny's here, Renee is here, Mary's here, John's here, Quincy's here. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different education. We all have different ideas that we know that's specific to what we do. For example, I have a friend who's in AI. He let me know like, hey, around this time, AI goes crazy. He didn't know about options. I knew about options. So I went to go buy leaps. He told me to buy shares. I was like, oh, that's cool. I buy shares. But I also bought leaps and skips. The fact that we're all 34 of us are in here together is an advantage that probably nobody else has. What you guys should do is get in your group chat and start talking to each other about ideas and trends you've noticed in the market and use options as a tool to profit from ideas and events that are going to happen anyways. And that feels like a good idea. Somebody type good idea in the chat. If it's making sense, what I say it's making sense. People always say, hell yeah. Great. I tell people all the time, and some do, some don't. That is one of the most popular things you can do, or one of the biggest things you can do to increase your income. So yes, we follow the big boys. Okay. I told you guys about the RSI, the margin of safety. These are the tools that I use. Okay. And I'm going to go to the whiteboard real quick. So I want to share one more thing with you guys about quad witching. There are 3 ways we can make money from this. Number 1, event or season based trades. That is what I just gave you. Amazon goes up every quarter of the year. FedEx goes up the last quarter of the year. Okay, those are based on events and seasonality. That's what I call season money. Okay. Number 2, discount based trade. A stock is moving with a lot of momentum. There's a cool off period. A discount happens on that particular stock, not for any particular reason. Okay. This is an opportunity for you to get in and make money using and skips. Now, I know you're going to ask, Josh, is quad witching the only time we buy leaps and skips? No, it's not. Quad witching is just one idea on timing that we use to make money. But whenever any of these 4 things are present, you can make money with leaps and skips. An event or season-based trade, for example, the Amazon trade, a discount-based trade, for example, the Oracle trade. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the company, but there are discounts because the investors fear bad news. 3, a timing-based trade. That's the quad 4 strategy. Okay. Number 4, a base trade, a trade where the whole market is panicking. And this is usually during a lot of times the first quarter of the year, around the March quad witching time. It happens a lot. Sometimes it happens around the September quad witching time. But whenever you hear news like, oh, the market is crashing, the market is dropping, when you keep hearing people talk about that, and the overall market dips about 10% to 20%, the overall market, okay, we SPY dips about 10 to 20%. I don't care what happens. As soon as you start hearing that, go buy leaps. Go and find the top companies in the S&P 500, your Apples, your Amazons, your Teslas, your Nvidias, your Googles. Go buy leaps and go to sleep like a brand new baby. The last time the panic-based sale happened was around March, when Trump put inflation and tariffs on everybody. The market dropped like 50% almost on all of the major stocks. And guess what? All those people who bought leaps and skips at least tripled their money. At least triple their money. I will show you a perfect example. This is Amazon. Let's go to the 1-year, 1-day chart. So you can look around April. This is the dip around April, 161. Between April and November, Amazon almost doubled in size, because this was a panic-based sell on the whole market. So all the stocks were dipping for no apparent reason. And Amazon got to a low of 161. Less than 6 months later, Amazon broke all-time highs. If the stock doubled, and we know contracts 5 to 10x, the contracts, the leaps, 115x. If you sold around here, this is where we were selling. When we're getting to leaps, we're selling around here. And even around here, we tripled our money. What about Meta? Meta dropped all the way to 479 in April. By August, 4 months later, the stock itself doubled. If the stock doubled, what do you think the options did, ladies and gentlemen? The whole market was dumping for no apparent reason. And I love opportunities like that because I become very heavy. Whenever there are dips in the market like that, I go swimming. What about Google? Google didn't only double, Google stock, Google, one of the biggest companies in the world, tripled in 3 months. While men slept, people missed opportunities to make six figures. See, a lot of times we think as people that we're missing access or we're missing a skill. A lot of times what we're missing is the awareness of the opportunity that just sits in front of us every single day. This is why I love options, because it gives me the opportunity to turn an idea into income, create cash from a thought, okay, pay attention, guys, and make money while I sleep. And by the way, all these moves in the market, I didn't push the market. I didn't wake up every day, move, 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 move. The market is gonna move anyways. And can I give you guys a cheat code? Somebody type in the chat cheat code. Someone type in the chat cheat code. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna blow your mind, guys. The reason the market is going to keep going up is because the human population keeps going up. Listen to that again. The reason the market is going to keep going up is because the human population keep going up. Matter of fact, in the last 100 years, we have 8x the amount of humans created than in the last 2,000 years before. In the year 2000, the population on the planet was 2.2 billion. So it took us from the beginning of time to about 2000, 2002 to reach a population of 2 billion people. Between the year of 2000 and 2025, we have close to 8 billion people. We have literally quantum leaped our production of humans. How does this affect the market? Pay attention. In the 1900s, there was something known as the Great Depression. The market dumped, everybody was scared. So there was a lady that they consulted. They said, if people don't put their money in the market, the economy will suffer and the market will not grow. So they came up with the concept. Guess what that concept is? It starts with a number, and it ends with the letter. Yes, Deborah, the 401k. The 401k was not created to help you save money. The 401k was created as a way to force people to put money in the market so it can keep growing. So as the population grows and more people are forced to put money in the stock market, do their jobs, the market will continually go up. Since we understand that psychological being, unless people stop being made, people stop having babies, we're always going to have an opportunity to make money. This is why assets in the stock market are key. Because if you hold a stock or an option for a long enough time, you will eventually end up green. Yes, Jay, and the Fed definitely props our money and prints it like autopilot. So now understanding that our job, everybody say my job, is to make the easy money. We gotta work so hard. Let's make the easy money. And one of the best ways to do that is through options. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. I'm gonna take a few minutes of Q&A and answer questions. Okay, any questions, chat with me. Oh, Anita said let's make the easy money. I love it, Juanita. Any questions about anything I went over today? Oh, I see hands. Okay, how do I do this? Janine, talk to me. I'll go in order as I see them. Talk to me, Janine.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, practically, sorry I'm not off looking crazy right now. Oh, um, so practically, how do we do this? So we go into our say Fidelity. I just go to option section. I did my homework. Got my stock. Is to go ahead and I want to go ahead and do. I'm going to take advantage of the quad witching season we're in right now.
Correct.
Got my stock ready. It's pretty simple for me to go in. I want to invest 500. This
Okay.
for example. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once I go into Fidelity, how to go and get my option.
So
That's
when
right.
you go into
Practically.
Fidelity, okay,
Mhm.
you type in the name of the stock you want to buy. You don't buy the stock. There's going to be somewhere on the side that says options. You click options. After you
Yes.
click the options, okay, you go to the expiration date you want to choose. And then after you click the expiration date, then you choose the contract you want to buy. So for example, say I go to trade, okay? Let's say I wanted to do Google, for example. And I was like, okay, I want to buy a leap, okay, a year out. What is a year out from today? Well, December 2026. So I'm going to go down and find the December 2026 one right there. Once you find that on Fidelity, whatever platform you use, the next thing you're going to look for is what?
Volume, you look at volume and
Volume and open interest. So I scroll down. Okay, I like this one here, but 3,700, I'm not about to pay that. You got me tripping. I'm gonna scroll down and I just compare the chain and find the biggest number that my budget. Okay.
Mm.
So if you want to do 500, maybe a leap, this one might not be bad, but it has an A. So I wouldn't even do this one. Maybe then you will do a skip in June and I'll scroll down and that skip, boom, right there. $450, 430 calling Google. You see, that is what I would buy with 500.
I see. I see. And you
You
just click
see,
on
let's say you have 1,500 or 1,000, then I'll go with this one. This one has almost double the open interest in volume for just a little bit more of the cost, $760 for 13,000 people in here. I don't mind buying one or two of these. I'm going to buy this. Okay. And as you go up, you can see the chain, the numbers. It really sticks out to you. You can see where the big money is hiding. Like you don't even have to guess. It's like a sore thumb. You can spot it. You pick the biggest number that aligns with your budget, and congratulations, you're in a okay.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Now you're welcome. Now, before I answer any more questions, 'cause I know people are going to ask about this, stop losses. My stop losses on this are usually 33%. 50% max, 33% is my stop loss because I'm expecting to double my money, make 100%. So if I do that, if I take 3 trades, if I get 2 wrong and get 1 right, I'll still make money. That's called risk to reward ratio. Now, I will tell you something. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm going to answer your questions as best I can, but just understand that I literally have trainings on this, weeks of training on this. I won't be able to teach everything in the hour or so we have together. Okay. But let me answer the questions I have. Who's next on my list? I'm sorry, did I say that right, Son?
Sanji is right.
Okay, talk to me, Sanji.
O- Okay, so let's go back to what Janice said. All right, so when you said go to the expiration date, right? And you said
Mhm.
contract. Now I can determine if it's a skip or a leap by the month
Correct.
or
A skip is something that's 6
Mhm,
months out. A leap is something that's a year out. So today is December. In my head, it's
mhm,
January. But let's say,
June.
so today's January,
Okay,
6 months out from January is June.
June.
Exactly a year out from January is December. So
Okay,
I'm going to choose something
gotcha.
December or above for the leap or June above for the skip.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
So let's say we're in the March quad witching. Let's just fast forward in time. We're in March.
okay.
The skip in March will be September, I think. April, May,
Yeah.
June.
Yes. Uh-huh.
A skip in March will be September. And the leap in March will be the next year, September. Okay. For the
March, your
guys who are
March,
new,
right?
you said what?
It'll be, you said if we were March 2026, it'll be March 2027
Correct. That will be the
for
skip
the
in
leap.
March. Leap in March. Correct. You got that, Sanji.
Okay.
And guys, since
All
there's your
right.
first quad witching, there's something called a paper account. You can just paper trade it. Okay, paper trade it, practice for this quad witching, and then for the next one in March, like literally store up your cash reserves to the March one, and for this one, execute. For this one, execute paper trading, practice, and then for the March one, have your real money ready. Remember, it happens for every year. There's always going to be
Can you,
opportunities to make money.
you say paper trade?
Yes, this is a paper trading account. where I can buy things here. They will give me $200,000 of paper money, and I can trade it like it's real money right in here. Does that make sense? So Thinkorswim by Charles Schwab allows you to do this, which is why I like. I'm not sure if Fidelity has a paper trading account, but that's that.
Fidelity does for regular trading. I'm not sure about options though,
Yeah.
or you meant like a virtual kind of play account, sort of. You mean?
Correct. Like a play account. Yeah. So I would say get a Thinkorswim account by Charles Schwab and then use a simulator account to practice. Why is that? Practice the underneath you and then going. So my three systems program is a different program. The master class I'm teaching right now is the bonus I'm teaching, which you guys are getting right now. This is one of my three systems. This the quad four system. This is out of my multiplication system. I have three systems where I use income system, multiplication, and legacy. And that will take its own time to teach, as you guys can see. Take this one and then use it, execute, and then go on from there. Any other questions?
Okay, I got a question on the topic of when you open an account, Josh. 'Cause I tried to open an account on Thinkorswim the same way you just told you me, and it didn't work for me. Like it's like it has to be approved, and I didn't
Charles
get.
Schwab.
Was it Thinkorswim? Charles.
Thinkorswim is not owned by Charles Schwab.
Sure. Right.
If you don't have a Charles Schwab account, that's what. So you create a Charles Schwab account first, and then they'll allow you to download Thinkorswim.
Right. Which I did. Right. I did all of that. And I had money in it, put money in it and all of that. And I tried to go set up for the options so that I can do options trading. And I had to answer questions and then they had to approve me or not approve me. And they didn't approve me and said I need to come back in like 6 months or whatever it was. And came back after that 6 months. It told me, nah, it didn't approve me again. It told me that they wanted me to put money in and actually trade and actually buy the actual stock. I couldn't take advantage of doing the options like what you're teaching. So I have to my only thought is to create another Charles Schwab account and try and get it that way with a different account.
As long as the way you're answering the question. If you ask the question they've never done options before and you're completely brand new, they're not going to approve you. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Right.
Because they quote unquote say it's a risk, whatever that means. And
Right.
I could literally teach you a whole nother thing about whatever that word risk means. Okay. But what I would have done honestly is even though you might not be approved for options on the real account, ask them to approve you for options on a paper trading account. And then execute on real with like a Fidelity. Fidelity is not as anal as Charles Schwab about letting you do options. Okay. So create a Fidelity account to trade your real money. And then with Thinkorswim, just paper trading account for your options trade that way. Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted that out there for everybody else to benefit from that because I ran out thinking I had them go and then I stepped on my toes. So just learning.
Kelly, it's the way you answer the question. I know people, it's the way you answer the question. It flagged their system somehow. And for them to disprove you again, you probably answered the question in a similar way. That's probably what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to make it sound like I was a beginner and I wasn't, but I probably didn't do that for all of the questions. So I'm sure that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So is
And
there a template that will help you answer those questions so you're not flagged?
so I can't give you a template because I'm not a financial advisor and it's illegal for me to do that. Not illegal, but it can get in trouble. Number two, if I give all of you guys the template and everybody answers the same way, what's going to happen? It's going to mess it up. I'll give you the guidelines. The guidelines is don't sound like a beginner. Tell them that you're using a lot of money. So for example, don't say you're going to take one trade for $50 in a whole year. Like this guy doesn't need options. Okay. Does that make sense? Make it sound like you've been doing it in a while. Act like you're me. Answer the questions like you're me. I think that's the best effort I can. Yeah. Alexander, talk to me.
Are you going to be our options teacher moving forward?
Oh my gosh. Alexander, there's a course in the program, Wealth Creators,
Right.
with options. This recording will be there. Okay. What I do sometimes when Marvin does have Wealth Creating event, I do come out and speak. So that's the way I can teach you guys in person. Now, Kenny's been me live several times. So that would probably be the best way to reach me. When's you
Yeah,
guys next
I'm
event,
going to record.
Kenny? If you follow me guys on Instagram, I give a lot of game on Instagram. Check out my YouTube channel. I give a lot of free stuff. Like I actually go into the trust on my YouTube channel. I'll show you guys stuff that I want you guys to learn. That would be the best way to kind of learn from me and get in my ecosystem. Yeah, I usually pop up to Marvin's events a lot of the time, and I speak. So that's you guys will probably see me sometime. Quincy, talk to me.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, right on. Yeah, my question was kind of similar to Alexander's. I've gone through options trading modules, wealth creators, but was looking from like this useful live conversation to kind of ask them and get them feedback. So would we have an opportunity to kind of be able to do that in an ongoing basis to,
You guys are killing me.
get, oh,
I get
'cause
I get what
I
you're
don't
saying.
I don't day trade as much. I'm interested in like the swing trading part. And so some of the items weren't immediately as useful. And I want to kind of get more hands-on education and know-how when it comes to that.
That makes perfect sense. So the option type curriculum you guys had is a day trading program. I was created for day trading, right?
Yeah.
As I started to grow as a trader and my time became more valuable, I stopped day trading as much. I make my money not so much day trading now.
Yeah.
This is one of the ways I make a lot of money swinging. What I would say is let me talk to Marvin. We'll put some dates together. We'll figure something out where maybe I can make myself more available to chat with you guys more often. And of course, the live event, I can do that. But if you literally follow me on IG or come to my YouTube channel, I will answer your question. What I want you to do is to start to execute. And as you execute, more questions will arise. Ask me those questions, I will answer them for you. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
It
Like,
does.
for
No,
example, this was an impromptu call. I popped up and did it. There's a lot of times, if my schedule allows, I can do a call, work something out with Mario, where I can do that for you guys. One thing though, if I had to tell you guys to learn something and you don't want to day trade, is to learn how to sell options. Selling options for income. If you guys, this is good. This is like step one. Okay. My name on Instagram or YouTube is the same. It's Josh Cashflow, guys. Okay. So look into selling options. YouTube, the search, Google the term, especially cash secured puts.
yeah,
Have you heard of them, Steve?
I have. Yep. I had sold them a couple years ago. Been working on more like long calls and long puts positions now. I don't sell premium as much as I used to.
When you were selling for premium, were you doing a month out, 2 months? How long out were you doing though?
Usually 2 to 4 weeks out.
That's where I differ from a lot of people. I don't do 2 to 4 weeks. I do every 5 days.
Okay.
So the reason why you probably weren't making the income you were making, and were you just doing CSPs? Were you doing spreads, condors, or just CSPs?
I started with spreads, but then I got away from that and just went straight naked puts.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So when you were selling puts, what were you doing with the income you were generating from naked puts?
Pocket it, trying to stack it for other trades.
Okay. What you get from this, the perfect put it into stuff like this, where
Okay.
you multiply it is literally free money. Okay. But yeah, that's the best way to reach. I'll type my IG in the chat so you guys can follow me on YouTube as well.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
No, you're welcome, Quincy.
Yes. I'm pretty much like these guys looking to see where I might be able to collaborate with you. And when I with Coach Rosie, she told me that could get on a platform you for about 1,400 or something like that. Is that possible or no?
I don't actually have an active offer right now. I work with the students very closely. What I will say honestly, like I'm literally working on 2 videos right now to drop for you guys.
Okay.
There's gonna be one video to post tomorrow on YouTube and another one on Thursday. I will watch that. In terms of like talking to me one-on-one, just message me on IG. And I'll send you some more resources. I want to be as helpful as I can while not distracting you. Because I know Marvin, you have like a lot of great stuff with the real estate, um, the day trading and the life insurance. I don't want to distract you if you've already found a focus. But if you want to learn about options, I'm always available to answer more.
Okay, so I can get with you on YouTube or Instagram.
Yeah, just shoot me a message. Just shoot
Okay.
me a DM.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Yes. No, you're welcome. Talk to me, James.
I've been away for a while, but this is about Tradeovate, and I had this question: is there a book or to show what each button or drop down menu does that I could purchase and look at? Because when you get it, I don't have explain anything where everything's at. I want to be able to make my windows, everything, and I don't have no clue how to do all.
Okay, you're talking about
Tradeovate.
technicals on Tradeovate
Yeah.
with the app. So where would I find that? Where would I find that?
You showed me how to do it, but I need to solve it.
Yeah, so I know I did some trainings on Tradeovate in the past, but Tradeovate literally has its own YouTube channel and they came up with a tutorial specifically for that. Like a guide. It's literally 9 minutes. I'm gonna share it with you right now. I'm gonna post it in the chat so you have it. There you go. Just watch that.
That's the only thing that would be holding me back. I was like, man, I wish I knew what all the buttons is so I can make my own windows like how Josh and them do.
Yeah, guys, one thing I will be perfectly honest with you guys. When you're learning a skill in the markets, there's two things you have to learn. You have to learn the platform that you're using and the strategies. The strategies I found 99% of the time is not what holds people back. It's literally platform issues. So whenever you can get in touch with like support or find videos and just really understand the platform, that would be really, really good for you guys. What I really liked about their survey, why I'm with them a lot, is that their customer service 24/7. Okay. Like for example, it is Friday night. Let's see by the end of the call whether I can get somebody on the phone. What? Glad you called. Say or enter the four digits of your social security number. Say or enter your 5-digit zip code. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys that they're actually 24/7 because I spoke to them at 2 a.m. in the morning. How can I help you today? Anything but customer service. Thank you. Okay. Say it just like that too. So they know to get down your nerves. You can say things like Juanita, talk to me.
Yes,
Well,
I am kind of new at this, but I
okay.
started out with Robinhood at one time with, buying stocks and stuff like that. I didn't do that great, but aside from that, then I went to Coinbase because I had a friend of mine who was talking about crypto and things like that on Coinbase, and I made a little something, but for some reason, somehow I wind up putting the account somewhere else, and then I got lost, and I didn't know what was going on. I only
Oh
put like
no.
500 and I made a lot, but then I couldn't get it out. And then somehow a friend of mine was helping me. Forget it. I just totally options sound good. This is the first time I'm in this class, and it sounds so simple the way you broke everything down that I was not even confused, which was I totally appreciate that. So
Very welcome.
I did get to see the vocabulary, definitions like that, so I could learn a little bit more about the lingo. So definitely I appreciate that. But I just want to know because I was on Robinhood, Coinbase, and now you're talking about Charles Schwab.
Charles
And
Schwab, the biggest platform is what I use. Honestly
Mhm.
speaking, plat the uses of platform, especially when you're doing Cloud 4, is not that important. You can use whatever brokerage you want, but uh, Charles Schwab lets you paper trade. I don't know which other ones do. I'm pretty sure they're out there, but I know for sure you have a paper trading account with Charles Schwab you can use. In terms of when you're using your real money, you can use whatever brokerage you want. The only one I'm not the biggest fan of is Robinhood for very
Mhm.
specific reasons, but some people even use that. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
because buying
Robinhood's
options is
been
super.
adding some extra things now. Like I've noticed that they're adding other, kind of, I guess, building their base up a little bit more. But I'm familiar. Reason why I was asking that, but look into Charles Schwab and see about the
Yeah,
paper trading.
some people just use. with Fidelity or Robinhood or whatever. Somebody asked a question?
No, I just said Ameritrade was it changed to Charles Schwab.
Yeah. TD Ameritrade changed to Schwab. Yes. Janine, talk to me.
Just want to add on real quick to what Juanita said. Just thank you for simplifying everything. I'm actually in an investment group and they do options and I'm like still lost because the guy he did not go into any history. So I really appreciated the history lesson and which is now it makes sense. Like I was able to, so yeah, I think you nailed it for me in one
Yeah, you're
lesson.
welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I think understanding the history and how things started helps us understand the use is for. For example, understanding how the 401k actually started helps us understand what the use is for. The cheat code, the Roth IRA. Now, I'm not a financial advisor and all that good stuff. Check with your financial advisor. You guys have more of it to talk to. The Roth is a tax-free account. So if you're able to multiply your money, the best accounts to do it in is accounts that are tax-free. Your Roth, your HSA, those are the ones, especially during quad witching, I buy my leaps and my skips in because I know any money, any profit I make on those are completely tax-free. Okay? With my little accent. The person who did that was Peter Thiel. He used $2,000 in 1999. He had shares in there, pre-IPO shares in there. And by 2019, it had to $2 billion all tax-free. Because that is the purpose of the Roth accounts, the ability to multiply money without being taxed. So if you want any account to grow as crazy as possible, that is where I would start. Okay. Fidelity, if you're interested in Fidelity, they actually can give you the power. I have friends who do this, and students who actually do this to actually trade your HSA account. It's a little bar right there. Okay. So when that money doubles, triples, whatever the case may be, that's all tax-free money. All right. Another bonus tip. During quad witching, whenever the market is red, the whole market is red before quad witching, I'm usually aggressive, like super aggressive in buying skips and leaves. But when the market is at all-time highs, you can stagger in your positions. What does that mean? I told you there's a window of 3 to business days where I like to start buying my skips and leaves. By January 10th or 15th, I plan to be completely done in all my quad witching plays. So that gives you about 2 to 3 weeks to stagger into your positions. Buy some this week, buy some next week, buy some the week after. Number 4, if you don't want to just think too hard, one of the best things to buy skips and leaves on are the QQQ and the SPY. These are ETFs when they're not at all-time highs. SPY broke all-time highs today, so I wouldn't do that, but QQQ has yet to break all-time highs. So not a bad one to buy a leap on for 2026. Again, not financial advice, just things that I do and I'm teaching my students to do as well. Okay.
Would you repeat that, please? QQQ. What was the other one?
QQQ and SPY?
And SPY, you said?
Yeah, SPY.
SPY. Thank you.
Quincy, you got another question for me? Talk to me. Oh, you're on mute. Robert said,
There we go. Can you hear me?
yes.
Sorry. Yeah. Now, you mentioned selling premium. I was wondering if you could kind of give me the short version, like what instruments would you recommend? And are you selling at the money or out of the money?
When I'm selling puts, I'm selling out of the money.
Yep. Okay.
Out of the money. I'm Delta 30 or below for
Yep.
the cash secured puts. And I'm usually doing like 1% to 1.5% a week.
Okay.
So what you're probably looking for is looking to leverage ETFs like BITX, SOXL, TQQQ,
Okay.
what else like that? That helps with those percentages. And also with my condors, I use like literally the top 50 companies in the S&P 500. I have my favorites. I have their favorites. You find your favorites as you start
Mhm.
doing this, just based on your history. It's how you manipulate puts that are the most important. Because sometimes I sell a week out, sometimes I sell 2 weeks out, but the closest week. Like today, I sold a put for 2 weeks out, but I'm already up 15%. So by Monday, I expect to be up like 60, 70% on that trade. I'll close that out. But I'd have collected like weeks worth of in 2 days.
Okay.
Do that make
That,
sense?
yeah. Is that because the underlying went up in these 2 days?
Correct. The underlying went up in those 2 days, but also the underlying to a support area. And
Okay.
also, are you with the effect of the VIX on those premiums?
hmm Yep.
Okay. So VIX has been compressed lately, right? Because of how compressed VIX are, the VIX has been, um, stocks are not moving in a crazy range, which lowers the premium usually paid, but usually have safer moves. So when you go a lot further out, you get more safety and still get the premium you want, but it'll close out early as long as VIX doesn't skyrocket. Matter of fact, the
So,
more VIX dips, the more profit we make because of the time decay.
okay. I had not thought about trying to look at leveraged ETFs. So yeah, maybe I can take a look at those. Did you
For
name
sure.
any specifically? Any ones
I
you
usually a
said?
couple. Sometimes BITX, sometimes CQQQ, sometimes use SOXL a lot.
Okay.
What else? LABU, I use that sometimes. During seasons, I have my favorites, and it usually changes. It really just depends what the market is showing at that time.
Gotcha.
And for those don't understand, you can type a little blurb on what CSPs are, Quincy, and kind of let them know. Um, so we're not having a one-on-one conversation. Okay.
Yep. I got you.
All right.
Thanks.
No, you're welcome. Any other
Quick,
questions?
Van has a question.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yes. Is it going to be recorded so we can look over it again or what?
It is being recorded, yes. So you guys will
Okay.
have access to this.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys will definitely have access to this. But that being said, guys, it's 9:30 in an hour. I have some food waiting for me downstairs. Did you guys learn a lot? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Not a
Yes.
lot either, but it's still very informational.
Trust me, if you talk about information, Evelyn will tell you, okay, I can give you information just to believe. Yeah, this is just the beginning. I mean, guys, like I said, I've been doing this for 2 decades. Um, and I didn't stop learning just because I started making money. I kept learning as I grew. What I need 2 years doubled my knowledge since then, at least. Is it distinct?
Sounds-
If Marvin can tell me that's thing, that's how Marvin gets me to come on these calls. That's thing. But don't worry, I'm gonna buy him a big old steak so you leave me alone, okay? I need to find the biggest steak of them all. The steak to end all steaks. If anybody knows that steak, let me know. So you can say I did it. You're welcome, guys. That being said, guys, to your profit, I wish you guys the best. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And will I come in January? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen in January. If my schedule allows it, because I do travel. I appreciate you guys. Keep executing it, keep winning. Chat soon.